You won't believe the tea we're spilling today. From secret breakups to shocking lies, this is Unreal Tea. Hit subscribe before the drama starts. Welcome, everyone. Logan Brown's wedding was going to be a lovely affair, the happy marriage of the Brown family's eldest son. What happened, however, was something decidedly more eerie. A haunting demonstration of just how broken this family was. The wedding did not explode with drama. The quiet said more. Guests didn't meet eyes, seating was deliberate, and emotional distance was impossible to maintain. And at the heart of this emotional divide, Cody and Robyn Brown, seated quietly apart, physically and emotionally withdrawn from the family they once called unified. For Sister Wives fans, the tense vibe was impossible to avoid. Cody did not sit beside Janelle. No smiling family portrait shots, no embracing hugs. Rather, it was like witnessing a family implode in real time, each shattered shard refusing to mend. And that was not an accident. This was not merely a wedding. This was a reckoning. A silent boom of years of resentment, hurt, and betrayal. To really understand the storm that was building beneath the surface that day, you must look back. The pandemic years became the start of Cody's fraying relationship with his older children. As lockdowns caused other families to draw together, Cody imposed strict, isolating regulations that pushed his children away. He argued it was for their safety, but the message was explicit: do as I say or get banished. And who played by the rules to the letter? Robyn's family. That's where Cody slept, for months. Janelle and Christine's kids, Garrison and Gabriel especially, felt abandoned. Emotional distance became visible pain. Gabriel actually cried in a confessional and said his father never even called him on his birthday. That isn't a minor gaffe, that's a gaping wound. A wound that doesn't heal with age. Logan, the golden child and emotional anchor of the Brown children, started to slowly vanish. He refused to do interviews. He stepped away from the show. He withdrew to a private world, and his silence became a statement in itself. The absence of Cody from Logan's life wasn't angry or booming. It was absolute. When Logan finally wed his longtime girlfriend, Michelle, in October of 2022, it should have been a happy homecoming. Instead, it underlined just how far the chasm of emotion had widened. Conducted in Arizona in a tiny, intimate outdoor space, the wedding was attended by a majority of the Brown family members: Janelle, Christine, Meri, and most of the children. But there was something wrong. There were no pictures of Cody standing alongside his sons. No photos of him with Logan. No laughter shared. No toasts visible. Even more significantly, Logan and Michelle made it clear this wedding would not be televised. No cameras, no television storylines, no faked scenes. They wanted real and perhaps a fresh start away from the poison of public family scandals. But even without cameras, the melodrama made its way in. Cody and Robyn sat noticeably in the back, removed from the hub of the party, physically apart, but also emotionally so. Their presence being more of a duty than a warm welcome. And then, the whisper of scandal erupted, one that fans have analyzed ever since. On a tell-all interview later in season 19, Cody dropped a veiled comment that sparked rumor. The last time Robyn and I had PDA at a family function, we got thrown out. He did not call out the wedding by name, but viewers made the connections. Logan's wedding, the awkward seating arrangement, the cold stares, the gossip. It all connected. Was this the incident he had been talking about? Did Cody and Robyn center the day on themselves? Again? Was there a better kiss? A more over-the-top show of affection? A moment so insensitive it prompted an unspoken ask to vacate the premises? For a man already on thin ice with his kids, that sort of blunder would be a disaster. And the hints were all around. Supporters observed that Robyn and Cody appeared to be isolated from the rest of the family. No family hugs with the kids. No conversations with the grandkids. No photos of Cody with Logan, Michelle, or even Janelle. The atmosphere was unmistakable. They were tolerated, not welcomed. To add insult to injury, Cody's history of emotionally coddling Robyn only fed the drama. Christine had once described it as excruciating to see them perform like teens when the rest of the family was falling apart. And now, that same thespian romance appeared on the day of Logan's wedding, a day meant to honor oneness, adulthood, and the future. Instead, it became just another chapter in Cody and Robyn's saga. If they were actually being asked to leave, even indirectly, it would be the final rejection, not only of behavior, but of all that Cody has come to symbolize in the eyes of his older children: favoritism, detachment, and denial. Where we explore the emotional fallout, Garrison and Gabriel's subdued protests, Janelle and Christine's confessions, and how Logan's wedding became the symbolic last straw with Kody Brown's crumbling family empire. During the days and weeks that followed Logan's wedding, Cody's older kids' silence was deafening. There were no tearful posts by Garrison or Gabriel, no warm words about the presence of their dad at the ceremony. What we did witness was an extension of a subdued protest, one that was not based on theatrics, but on distance. These young men, who had previously been so keen to be near their father, had learned that absence was to be anticipated, and that absence had become the new normal. Gabriel, who had previously openly cried about Cody not calling on his birthday, didn't utter a peep about the wedding. Garrison, who'd openly battled Cody on COVID protocols and emotional neglect, sat there, keeping his attention firmly fixed on his siblings and mother. For them, Logan's wedding was more than a family wedding. It was a tangible sign of the transition. The Brown family we knew was done. This was a new era, one where the kids scripted their own narratives, with or without dad. Janelle, strong in silence as ever, stood tall. She glowed with pride over Logan, her oldest. But beneath that smile lay a profound maternal sadness. A sadness that Cody had inched away from not only her, but her kids as well. Her post-event interviews, though guarded, betrayed hints of heartache. She talked more of her children being strong than of Cody's being present. It was not by chance. Christine, the ever-honest truth-teller, didn't hold back in subsequent interviews. She acknowledged it was difficult to have Cody and Robyn over for family gatherings due to the way things had become awkward. And readers between every line saw it. She realized that Cody's presence no longer spelled comfort or togetherness. It spelled division. His favoritism of Robyn had cut a canyon between him and his older kids. A canyon too deep to bridge, with a smile and a wedding seat. And then there's Logan. During the wedding and afterward, he was the epitome of quiet dignity. No public jabs, no interviews, no dissing. But his behavior spoke louder than words. Picking not to feature the wedding on Sister Wives was a message. Keeping himself out of the drama, keeping himself private, keeping himself centered, that was his means of taking back peace. He wasn't merely walking away from the cameras. He was walking away from the dysfunction his dad had become known for. Michelle, Logan's wife, was a vision of grace as well. She stood by his side with quiet pride, warmly greeting his mother and siblings. But viewers couldn't help but notice. Cody felt like an outsider. There wasn't any visible bond between father and son. No joy, no typical father of the groom moments. In fact, it's not even known if Cody gave a toast. And if he didn't, then that silence is deafening. Because a toast is not just a custom. It's a sign. A father's blessing of his son's new existence, respecting the journey that led him there. Cody's absence or exclusion spoke louder than years of strife. The bridge between him and Logan was not burned. It never existed. The emotional weight of this wedding extended beyond one day. It rippled into the next season of Sister Wives, where viewers saw Janelle and Christine growing stronger and more united in their independence. They weren't just ex-wives, they were mothers, watching their children redefine family on their own terms. The fans also sensed the change. Social media lit up with reactions to Cody's irrelevance at the wedding. He was dressed like a guest, not like a father, one viewer noted. This was Logan's move to draw a line in the sand. Others noted the symbolism of Robyn's discomfort, how her former dominant position in the family had no place in this new world. This wasn't a snub. It was the inevitable culmination of a decade of emotional decay. A son who had at one time been presented as the future of the Brown family quietly opted out, and a father who had insisted on loyalty found himself in the back of the room. Logan's wedding was a revolution in silence. No screaming fights, no television show theatrics, just a new clarity. The children are all adults now, and they've quit waiting for their father to arrive. As the wedding concluded and guests straggled out into Arizona sunset, the posed smiles gave way, but the emotional residue remained. And as Logan and Michelle retreated to the security of their own life together, what they abandoned was unmistakable. A family so severely broken that even celebration could not keep it intact. And as viewers peeked more closely, they found they were starting to spot the quiet moments that spoke volumes about the most brutal realities. Meri Brown, long relegated to the outside of family life, arrived as usual, tigritous, collected but emotionally inscrutable. She was polite in her arrival, guarded in her interactions. Some fans wondered if she was attempting to keep her head down. Not that she didn't have opinions, but because she knew the spotlight was not hers for the taking. But others saw how, once more, she gravitated around Robyn, her former partner in devotion to Kody. And yet even that bond was wafer thin. The former sisterhood was extinct now, replaced by exchange-based toleration. It wasn't just fans who picked up on the rift. The tell-all interviews months later stripped away the last layers. Asked point-blank about the wedding, Janelle grew visibly tearful. She conceded Logan had become the protector a long time ago. Not only her, but also his siblings. He'd witnessed too much, heard too much, and in time, pushed away from the very entity that hurt him. And now, even in revelry, he didn't allow the cameras in. That silence was his boundary. Christine was sharper. It wasn't that Kody wasn't invited, she said. It was that the children didn't feel at ease. Those 4 words punched. They explained what everyone had already guessed. The wedding wasn't a reunion opportunity. It was an occasion upon which Kody was tolerated, barely. And in that sense, that made it even more heartbreaking. Robyn, meanwhile, looked stunned in her own interviews. She spoke of confusion, even hurt, at the chill she sensed from the children. But fans were not swayed. Her tears no longer carried the magic. The woman once viewed as the family's emotional center now seemed to be its most polarizing figure. Whatever her responsibility, her marriage to Kody had become the encapsulation of all that the older kids hated. And Kody? His rebellion was waning. The bravado he used to carry into every confession was muted. He didn't speak much of Logan's wedding. He didn't celebrate it in public. And when he did speak of it, it was always in general terms. He never uttered how proud he was. He never grinned with happiness. It was like the distance had become so routine, even he didn't attempt to fake anymore. Fans on social media went wild with responses. Logan's wedding was the funeral for the old Brown family, one read. There's no coming back from this. Others commented on how fitting that the first child of the plural marriage, the firstborn in the dream, was also the first to leave it all behind. No polygamy, no cameras, no drama. Just a peaceful life by design. And in that decision, Logan might have saved himself. Logically, where others lingered too long, worked too hard, or held out for a miracle that never came, he had slipped away quietly and carved out his escape. And in doing so, he became something stronger than mere firstborn. He became the blueprint for healing. And the rest of the family? The fallout of the wedding hung like smoke after flames. Janelle became more adamant in seeking her independence. Christine, already remarried and happy, was living testament that there was life after Kody. Better life, in fact. Meri, finally, started distancing herself, even whispering about a fresh start. And Kody? He burrowed further into Robyn's universe, where loyalty is non-negotiable, but love could be contingent. Logan's wedding didn't blow up like previous sister wives incidents. No public fights, no door slamming. But it most definitely was the most intense thing the family had witnessed in years. Because in that subdued ceremony, The Brown kids made their announcement loud and clear. They're finished waiting. They're finished begging. They're finished waiting for him to change. And in leaving the limelight behind, Logan set the precedent for all others to finally trail behind. This family's drama is far from over. So smash like if you're Sage Team Wives, subscribe for the next explosive update, and drop a comment below. Who do you think will win? Stay shady, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next scandal. Behind TLC Sister Wives out.